What is up, everybody? It's your boy Pallet Drop, and I'm here with my first ever deck list video. So today is Cyber Darks. I do want to say first of all that all you really need to build this deck, besides, I added in my own cards, but I do recommend buying 3 of this structure deck. The Cyber Dark structure deck is so freaking good, or at least buy 1. You will not be disappointed. So anyways, yeah, this is what I basically built using 3 structure decks and using some cards that I just like to have and use for this deck. So especially in the extra deck, I definitely tweaked that. And the main deck, you'll see where the spice is. You will definitely see. So for our Cyber Dragons, we've got Cyber Dragon Naxter, 1 Hers, 1 Naxter, and then 3 of the regular Cyber Dragon and 3 of the core. So let's just talk about why each card is good. This card's just good because if you go second, special summon Cyber Dragon for free. Unless you need to have him in your hand to pitch him for your cost of your spell or whatever it might be. But it's just good, and having 3 because we do run machine duplication in this deck, so you wanna try to have at least 2 of your Cyber Dragon, your regular guys, in your deck, so you can machine dupe and go into your XYZ plays. We got Cyber Dragon Hers, just so whenever we do our Horizon play, we send Cyber Dragon Hers, we send our other monster, and whenever Cyber Dragon Hers is sent to the graveyard, you get to add Cyber Dragon to your hand. Now, there is the whole thing about it, when it's special summon, it's a level 5, and I guess you could kind of go into, your rank 5 plays there, but it doesn't really happen much for me. I usually go just for the discard. That's almost always my target if I can discard it. This card is really good because you can special summon a Cyber Dragon from your graveyard, and maybe you special summoned one already. Discard Cyber Dragon from your hand, special summon it immediately, go into your XYZ play, or special summon a monster that has the same name, Cyber Dragon, and then make your link. There's all kinds of options you can do with this card, honestly, because what sometimes will happen is there's a card in here called Cyber Dark Chimera, and I will explain why that card is really crucial too. If that card comes out, and let's say your opponent doesn't give you time to activate the effect, they just pop the card, because if you activate the effect and they negate you, then you're kind of screwed with Cyber Dark Chimera because it's only used once per turn. But let's say they pop your Chimera. Well, you can if you have a monster in your hand, you can discard a monster, special summon him, and then bring back your Chimera and just do your play. And it's happened for me before. It definitely has happened for me. It's clutch. Cyber Dragon Core. This is pretty self-explanatory. You search any Cyber Dragon spell, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 1 cyber spell trap. So even more vast in a way, because it's not like you can get your Cyber Dark spell, you can get your Cyber Dragon spell, you can get whatever says cyber in it. But then there is the little thing that lets you special summon Cyber Dragon when it's in your graveyard and only your opponent controls a monster. That comes up. That definitely comes up. This is all I think you really need for the regular Cyber Dragons in terms of the monsters. So let's move on. Oh, I will say one thing. This is almost always your machine dupe target. Most of the time I'm not normal summoning him. Most of the time, most of the time this is going to be your machine dupe. All the Cyber Dragon players out there, they know. Core is just pretty much the core, to say the least. So that's the spells. Let's continue with the monsters. So you only play 3 of the Cyber Darks because you only need 3. You'll see, because we play 3 of the Claw and 3 of the Cannon, and yeah. So yeah, they all have their effects, which don't come up all that often, but they're nice. Sometimes they're nice to have. So yeah, you only need 1 each of these guys. And I will try to go as fast as I can with this for the video's sake. We've got 3 of the Cyber Dark Claw. Self-explanatory. Cyber Dark Claw searches your spells / traps for your Cyber Darks, and then also it lets you send monsters from your extra deck to the graveyard, and that is important as well. We've got 3 of the Cannon. Cannon lets you search your monster, and also, yeah, they do have effects. So when this leaves a monster it's equipped to, because these equip to your monsters from the graveyard. So basically, when this leaves your equipped monster, you get to add a Cyber Dark to your hand, including you can add Claw back. which is nice. You can actually get claw back if you need to get claw. And when this leaves a monster it's equipped to, you get to just draw a card, which is nice, very nice. This lets you send a monster from your deck to the graveyard. So, I mean, if you get use out of that, go ahead, but I don't really get much out of it. I mean, if you got Overload Fusion in your hand, I guess I see where that could help a lot. So now we've got 2 Chimera. Let's just go ahead and read Chimera's effect. You can discard 1 spell/trap, add 1 power bond from deck to your hand. You can only use Dragon or Machine Cyber monsters as fusion material this turn. Also, once when you fusion summon this turn, you can also banish monsters from your graveyard as material. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 Cyber Dark monster from your deck to the graveyard with a different name than the ones in your graveyard. You can only use each effect of Cyber Dark Chimera once per turn. So it's a use once per turn. So if he gets negated, that can really, the thing is about this deck is if he gets negated or you draw both of your power bonds and you can't search a power bond off of his effect, your combo is kind of fucked. That's why we have the Infinity. That's why we have a couple other things that just, I mean, will at least keep you in there. You can win some games that you don't think you'll win sometimes. But yeah, crucial card. You're almost always going to send this off of Horizon. We play 1, so here's where we go with like just the no archetype type of, well, archetype monsters, but they're the out of archetype, I would call. So they don't really belong in the deck in a way, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to say it. Like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, this is a Kaiju and this is a Noble Knight. They're kind of random in a way. I mean, Kaiju's not so random, but this you're probably looking at and scratching your head, right? Well, let me explain. We run Power of the Guardians in this deck, and I'll explain what that does for anybody who doesn't know when we get there. But basically, you get to add it for free. And the way this deck works is you don't always need your normal summon. So sometimes you can search out your Power of the Guardians. I only run 1 because we run 3 Power of the Guardians. This is just like to search it out. If you can put, basically the more equipped cards you can get on your boss monster, the better. The Kaiju is good because if your opponent has a monster in their field, let's say they got a monster in their field, I have a Kaiju in my hand, I can tribute their monster, special summon the Kaiju to their field. That is why Kaijus are so good. So yeah, I only run 1. You're welcome to run more than 1. It's also a light machine monster, so you know what that means? It's searchable. It's actually searchable in this deck. And finally, 2 Ash Blossoms, just because you need some kind of hand trap. That's why I recommend buying the structure deck. You can at least get infinite impermanence, which sometimes is a hand trap, sometimes it's just a really good trap in general. I feel like, you know, a lot of people call it a hand trap for some reason. So anyways, it's because of its effect though. We've got 1 Cyber Dark Inferno, lets you additional normal, yeah, I'm pretty sure it lets you additional normal, right? Yeah, you have to return to your hand, right? But this does help. This has actually helped me before, because what'll happen is you'll normal summon and they'll be like, shit, I don't want him to equip his guy from his graveyard. I'll have to negate that monster's effect. Well, that's fine, it gets negated, but then you get to, let's see. So, first of all, I'll just go ahead and read it. Cyber Dark effect monsters you control that are equipped with equipped cards cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. So, you know, they're still vulnerable before they equip it. You can target 1 Cyber Dark monster you control, return it to the hand. Then immediately after its effect resolves, normal summon 1 Cyber Dark monster. So yeah, if they negate it, you just get to normal summon it again. That's the best part about it. And most of this is normal summons, so a lot of the stuff that says negate special summons, destroy monster on special summon, those don't apply. Those don't actually apply to the Cyber Darks because they get normal summons, so it helps a lot. You can only use this effect once per turn of Cyber Dark Inferno, but then this just has the bonus of if they pop it, you get to add a fusion card to your hand. So that is just nice because you do have a back row, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be equipping cards, you might set, I will go into the traps, we only play a few, but you know, sometimes you have traps and stuff, and your opponent's going to be like, well, that's scary, I got to get rid of it, Harpy's Feather Duster, destroy everything. You're going to get your Overload Fusion to your hand, you know? So it's nice, it's definitely nice, and if you need to, you can add Power Bond off of it. We've got 3 Cybernetic Horizon. do I really need to explain why this card is so good? I guess I should, because anybody who doesn't understand the deck yet needs to know about this. So basically, what you do is you send a monster that's either light or dark from your hand to the graveyard. So let's say I send Cyber Dragon, then I need to send a dark monster from my deck. So that really helps, because you can send, what I typically want to do is send Cyber Dark Chimera and Cyber Dragon hers, so light and a dark, and then once you send those monsters, you send a monster from your extra deck, you're going to always send your Cyber End Dragon, and after you send, you get to add a machine monster to your one machine Cyber monster, right, from deck to hand. Oh yeah, so you add and then you send, but yeah, you guys know what I mean. So yeah, you can send your Chimera and then add Chimera back, or you can add Cyber Dark Cannon, then search your Chimera. Like there's so many ways you can go through with it. But then also, on top of that, when those monsters get sent to the graveyard, they have effects that go off. Cyber Dragon hers will let you add Cyber Dragon to your hand. Cyber Dark Chimera will send a monster from your deck to the graveyard. And you can chain block your Chimera, so it doesn't get hand trapped or something, which is great. So you just go, you know, chain link 1 Chimera, chain link 2 Cyber Dragon hers, and the chain resolves backwards, so Cyber Dragon hers effect will go first, and they can only respond to that. So Cyber Dark Realm, this lets you add a Cyber Dark monster to your hand that is not already in your graveyard. So you have to put thought into your combo before you use this card. You have to think, do I need to add Chimera? Do I need to add Cannon? Do I need to add Claw? These are questions you definitely have to ask yourself. But on top of that, it gives you an additional normal. You see what I mean why you don't need your normal? You have an additional normal. This card is, if you use your Noble Knight, if you use your normal summon on your Cyber Dragon core and it doesn't work out, whatever it might be, you will have this. This is always good backup. Always good backup. And also, if they're playing machines or dragons, you can equip monsters from their graveyard while this card's on the field. So, that's really nice. Cyber Repair Plant lets you search Cyber Dragon, lets you shuffle stuff into your deck. Pretty self-explanatory. Great card. I've run it at 3. We got our fusions, 2 Power Bond, 1 Overload. I don't know, 3 Power Bond is just kind of mad to me. I'm all for the Overload fusion. I think Overload fusion is just a perfect, like, it's like the 3rd Power Bond, except for, you know, banishes the, well, the thing is about it, right? Most of the time you're using the Power Bond with your Chimera, and that's going to banish your monsters anyway. So it's pretty much just your Power Bond without you taking any damage. And also you can just use it after you've used your Power Bond. If you've got some regular Cyber Dragons left in your graveyard, you want to make something, which I will show you the options I have for that. Oh wait, it's a Dark Machine fusion monster. Well, you can still work it out, like, you know, if you're, actually, even better, if you're, I just realized it's a Dark Machine monster, but that's fine. I've only used it for Dark Machines anyway, but anyway, it still works out because you can still go off with it. You can basically still use it. So basically, like, if your Power Bond gets negated, you'll still have a backup. We've got 2 machine dupes. This basically lets you just make XYZs. You get to target 1 machine monster you control with 500 or less attack. Special summon up to 2 monsters from your deck of the same name as that face-up monster. So you just bring out 2 of your level 5s, then you make your XYZ. We've got 3 Power of the Guardians here. So let's read this card. Why is this card important for this deck? Well, the boss monster gets attacks equal to the amount of equipped cards on it. So that's one thing. But this card also protects it from being destroyed by battle. So, and it also gives it more attack points. So let's read. If an attack is declared involving the equipped monster, place 1 spell counter on this card. The equipped monster gains 500 attack and defense for each spell counter on this card. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can remove 1 spell counter instead. Actually from the field. So you wouldn't even, if you were doing some spell counter bullcrap, you could take it away from something else. But you're almost always going to just take the counter away to protect him from being destroyed by battle. And yeah, it just makes him super bulky because he gets attacks equal to his equipped cards. So and it's not once per turn, so he's going to gain each time he attacks. So that's perfect. Also when they attack him, which is amazing. So don't forget that he gets a counter when they attack him too. So he's almost always protected. They gotta pop your back row, which is another reason why our field spell is so nice, because it'll get popped a lot. Actually, you'd be surprised. So cyber emergency, fire as hell. You can search out your core, search out your hers, search out whatever you need to get. Just a regular cyber dragon. It's just nice to have. And also, if it gets negated, you can use it again. So, and it also says you can only activate once per turn. So that's a big thing. Like if your thing says you can only use once per turn and it gets negated, you're fucked. If it says activate once per turn, you can use the same. You can use a copy of the same card again, or whatever. You use the same card again. It's just most of the time when they negate something, they'll destroy it too. So that's why this is so nice, because you get to add another cyber emergency to your hand, which is nice. We got 2 solemns. You can negate their special summons. We've got one of these. You can equip from their graveyard, or you can destroy a card in the field. Once per turn, you get to choose one of those effects. It comes up. It comes up, I promise you. Cybernetic Overflow. You banish cyber dragons with different levels. Destroy equal amount of cards on the field. It's nice. I'm telling you guys. You only need one. I only run one. Think about it. You're banishing the cyber dragons. Makes sense to only really run one. But I won't get at anybody that runs more than one. Run what you like. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if it works for you, run what you want. We've got Almirage, we got Gardna, we've got Siger. Siger you make off of your, your machine plays, your basic machine plays. If you want to add 2,100 to your boss monster, boom shakalaka. Secure Gardna and Almirage. Why am I running this? Well, I can go straight into Almirage with my Cyber Dragon Core, because I can normal summon it and it has less than 1,000 attack. And then I can tribute this to go into Gardna. And Power Bond, I did not tell you guys, but Power Bond actually, the thing about Power Bond, let's read it. So, you fusion summon one machine monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, and it gains attack equal to its original attack. But there's a downside. During the end phase of the turn that this card is activated, you take damage equal to the amount of the attack gained from this effect at the time of the summon. So, you just make your Gardna before you do your Power Bond, and Gardna will keep you protected for the rest of the turn after it's been summoned from any effect damage. So you're good. You're good. So Salamangreat Almirage, it also, you contribute it to stop your monsters from being destroyed, but it's basically just for the Gardna play. I pretty much just run that as a thing together. We've got Shooting Star and a Quasar. To make things simple, my boy Johnny showed me this, and basically you can send Quasar from your extra deck to the graveyard, and if you get to equip a monster from your graveyard, like to your big guy, you equip your Quasar, and then when it gets sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon Shooting Star for free. Pretty much that's it. I don't always go for it very much, but it's just nice to have in there, I won't lie. We've got 2 Entis, because when you send it from the extra deck to the graveyard, you can pop a card in the field. That's pretty much it. You can use it during damage calculation, and that's pretty much it. Our Cyber Dragon fusions, we've got 1 Twin. It can attack twice. And Rampage lets you pop cards equal to the amount of fusion materials. We've got Cyber Eternity Dragon. So you're pretty much going to be getting your fusion monsters in the graveyard. So this card does come up because it's protected while there's a fusion monster in your graveyard. A machine fusion monster in your graveyard. It's protected, and when it's destroyed, it has a nice effect, and it's good. It's good to me. I like it. I like it. This is your Overload fusion target right here. I think I've got another one in here. That might actually be, yeah, never mind. I took out the other one. So yeah, this is basically your Overload fusion because it's a dark. We've got 1 Cyber End because you're always going to send it. We've got a Cyber Darkness Dragon because that is what you have to make before you make this big boy. You basically make him, you equip your Cyber End, then you tribute him with the Cyber End to make this guy. Now this guy says that, well, also while he's equipped, he has a negate, but you're not really going to use it. He also gains attack. So After you use Power Bond, he goes up to 4K. Then he equips the guy that has 4,000 attack, and he gains his attack, so he becomes 8K. So if your opponent doesn't have, I mean, you can just go for game with that. But if you need to destroy shit, show your opponent who's boss, you make the big boy. So the big boy says, Cyberdark End Dragon. He's a level 12, if I'm not wrong. So, must either be fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing one level 10 or lower Cyberdark fusion monster equipped with Cyber End Dragon. He's unaffected. This guy is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects, and once per turn, you can equip one monster from either graveyard to this card. This card can make an attack up a number of times each battle phase, up to the number of equipped cards equipped to it. So you can just go in on people. He's 5,000 attack, and once you have Power of the Guardians on that guy, it's nasty. And then finally, your XYZs, you got the Nova. This is classic. You go into Nova off of your 2 level 5s, and then you can immediately go from Nova into Infinity, because once per turn you can XYZ summon Infinity by using Nova. And that's not a hard once per turn. So yeah, that is the deck list. Thank you all for watching, and I will have a combo video up.